Oh my God, Raymond Bonilla pops in right at the last minute.
It's because they're like Live Brush is on a sabbatical right now.
Final countdown.
Yeah,
I'm on time. Do you want me here? Or do you not want me here?
we want you stay, please stay. Yeah, no, this is Ray. You've come for a new evening. We've got some structure happening tonight.
I was gonna applaud Ray that he's here to hear the opening song.
This is the beginning.
Yay.
Yeah.
Got a hell of an opener. We've got a news segment tonight. We're gonna do some trivia. But yeah, we're gonna get started in a few minutes.
You look very relaxed to me, by the way. You look.
I don't know, Bill. He said the word structure, so yeah. Doesn't bode well for us tonight.
Relaxed, he looked relaxed.
Yeah.
We're gonna get started in just a minute. Everybody, please join us on Discord if you want to be part of the chat. If you've got questions, if you want to ask questions about art, I'll drop a link as soon as the beloved intro song is over. So, all right. Hey.
All right, welcome everybody. Hey, Timmy, did you get Ray to sign that non-compete? We're doing some new stuff tonight. I don't want it all be, seeing it on live. So, hey everybody, welcome to Illustration Isolation. I am here in the room with Timmy Trayvon, Bill Code, Cassandra Loomis Kim, and Raymond Bonilla. Thank you all for being here. We got a fun night tonight. We'll be drawing the Rings of Power from the IP, the Lord of the King, Lord of the Rings. I'm going to confess, I know nothing about this. So this is not my world, but we have some really great reference to draw from. But it's pretty common. I don't know that much about anything. So we'll just be consistent. We are first pose tonight. I mean, how could you not want to draw that, right? We're going to be doing 2 20-minute poses and then a 40-minute pose at the end. These are the first 2 options for the 20-minute poses. And then on your third pose, you'll have an option of this photograph of this work, which is awesome, or this one, which is also awesome. And you can do either or both of them. So, and then after we're done with the last pose, hopefully you'll be posting along the way. We'll go and take a look at hashtag illustration isolation on Instagram. And hopefully you'll have have posted your work and you can see all the different versions of the work that's done. It blows my mind. We're here kind of in a pretty casual setting, drawing things that are fun, chatting. You're welcome to ask questions along the way. There's some very good drawers in here, both on camera and in the audience. Feel free to ask questions about technical questions or art-related questions, or what Timmy's reading, or what hobby he's most focused on right now. Whatever sparks your interest, feel free to reach out to us. You can control the conversation. I know Timmy's got some things to say because we're going to add a couple of things tonight, and I'll turn it over to Timmy.
Yeah, so I dropped a link to Discord in the chat. If Discord isn't your speed, you don't want to wrap your head around it, you can just use the Q&A. We don't use chat on Zoom because it's just a nightmare. It's just people abuse it. So, but join us on Discord and chat with us there. And I'll keep an eye on the Q&A as well. Other than that, and happy drawing. This first pose is going to be 20 minutes. So The clock has begun, and I'm setting a time.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing, Timmy, and here we go.
Ray, I'm thrilled to have you here. This is great.
Is that right? Wow, that
You're
was
out of retirement.
that's not the reception that I was thinking of.
Ray, what's good? Is there a football game tonight?
There might be. I might at around like 8 o'clock or something like that. I might be very
You're
let's
drawing.
just say you won't, yeah, you won't have my undivided attention. You may or may not. You know.
Drawing's going to get really bad around 8 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Well, we know John is, functioning on minimal sleep because he was up all late last night watching the US Open.
Oh, yes, I will.
Oh no, John.
I got but it was really interesting. My wife and myself raised a group of tennis players. I've been a tennis player most of my life. And last night, my tennis is not like first thing on my wife's mind, like what I should be doing, watching tennis or anything, but she got so involved in this match. My son and my wife and I stayed up till 2:30 watching the US Open.
It's devotion.
God.
And that's Central Time. And
Wow.
it was unbelievable. She was screaming at the TV. We had a
I
So
bet you
really-
were more proud.
it was very funny because she's watched a lot of tennis. She just doesn't know that much about it, and she doesn't have a lot of sympathy for the players. And she was like, how could they do that? Like, they've been doing this for 4+ hours. It's like the highest level tennis match I've watched in years. And somebody would make a mistake, and it's like, how could they do that? That's just ridiculous. And I'm like, come on. No sympathy at all for the player.
Was that was the one in Queens, right?
Yeah, the US Open.
Wow. I can't
National
believe
Tennis
that I went that late.
I think it might have been the second latest match ever, but it was the longest, 5 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Wonderful. It really was. It was all new faces, a 19-year-old and a 21-year-old.
Wow.
And tennis needs, it's got the big three. It needs some new faces. So this is really exciting for me. Even on the both women's and men's side, that the guard is changing. So it's healthy.
Right. Kind of like the big three here.
That's right. Well, big four.
Look, Cassandra, Timmy, myself, Bill.
Sorry.
Are we gonna play doubles?
Hey, is everybody ready for our first ever news segment?
Oh, that's right.
yeah,
Isolation news.
Sure.
You need to get a little diddly for it,
Okay,
Yeah.
here it
It's the
goes.
top of the hour. Good.
All right, here we go.
Okay, where are we going?
Did you not hear it? No. Dang.
No.
I had a really great Anyway, I was trying to play it, and it usually plays, but it's not playing. So, anyways,
This is reminding me a
I
lot
appreciate the
of
effort.
Laugh-In News, which I know only John is old enough
all
to
right. So the news segment is off to a terrible start. All right, this is a disaster. All right. Okay. From CNN, famed roaring lion portrait of Winston Churchill stolen from Canadian hotel. A landmark
Whoa.
hotel. Yeah, whoa. A landmark hotel in Ottawa is now the scene of an art heist. The roaring lion, an original and iconic portrait of Winston Churchill, was mounted in the Chateau Laurier reading room for decades. But last week, a hotel employee noticed something was wrong. Basically, this is a quote. Basically, somebody came in, took the real one, put a fake one in, which was so similar we could not see the difference. The image was captured by photographer Yusuf Karsh in 1941 as Churchill visited Canada. Moments prior to the photo, the then British Prime Minister said in a wartime speech to Parliament, "To fight on in unity together." Let's see here. Let me get some good stuff.
The
the-
favorite part about how the expression came about.
Okay, so using pictures from the public, they figured out when the portrait was stolen. Can you guess how long do you think it's been missing?
Jeez.
8 months.
8 months.
Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, there's no fighting that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I thought it was like 8 hours. Oh my goodness.
They got a head start on that one.
I don't know really anything about Karsh. What's the story with the famed photographer Karsh?
Oh, great photographer. That's all I can tell you. I mean, that's in fact one of the I use that photograph of him in my lighting document for short loop light. It's a beautiful.
He left out my favorite part. The reason why he has the expression that he does was apparently the photographer kept saying, like, Winston, put down your cigar and put it out. Put down your cigar and put it out. And then finally he walked up, snatched the cigar from his hands, and then took that picture. And that is his grumpy, mad expression that he took away the cigar. And that picture was used on everything, even like British money.
Yep.
Wow.
There you go.
That's incredible.
A pretty amazing.
I love that.
I cannot imagine having the confidence to try and the craze to try and
I totally agree. Like, that is gutsy.
It's wild how brazen it is.
Because sometimes it doesn't work out well, right? Like it's like the Teddy Roosevelt portrait that John Singer Sargent did.
Right.
Oh, you're talking about the grabbing the cigar. I was talking about stealing it.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about Karsh taking the cigar away from
Yeah, I would be terrified
Churchill.
to take it away from Winston Churchill.
Yeah, I've done that before. I did that to my dad once. It doesn't work out that well. Yeah.
You take a photo of him? Exactly.
No, I did.
At that point.
I just ran away. Yeah. I stuck a bottle rocket in his cigar once, like jammed it. Yeah. That's
Oh, I'm sure that went well.
Yeah, he loved that. It's like a pretty dead giveaway if you're smoking a cigar and all of a sudden it has like a sparkler on the end.
But did he was it lit when you stuck it in, or did he light it anyways?
Oh, no. So like I got a cigar and like burrowed a hole in the end of it and like put like a whole bottle rocket in it and then kind of snipped the wick. So it was really short. And no, I mean, the second he saw like a sparkler occurring in the end of his cigar, he threw it. He knew he'd been living in chaos for years. He knew something.
He knew that signature of chaos that
Yeah, he was like, this is man-made. This is
He was the creator of chaos, and
That's what I was gonna say.
had 3 sons. I think he was wise to it.
Yeah. So, but I can only imagine. Yeah, I remember when he was really sick. He watched the Winston Churchill like the most recent biopic. It was like a 2018.
Oh, the one with Gary Olson.
That might have been after. But I remember looking at
Gary Oldman.
Ullman, yeah. That one.
I remember Churchill in the movie is like sitting in a bed and he's like, everybody's just like hand and foot, like bringing him stuff. And then I remember looking at my dad and it was like just 2 of the same people. Yeah. So no, any other comments on art theft?
the only one I could think of was the that comes to mind is the Isabella Stewart Gardner theft. And I wonder what the club is going to do. Like, are they just going to leave the do you know about like why they left?
I do know what the situation is, right? They've removed all of the portraits from as a precaution, because they're like, apparently we have no idea what these look like.
Right. I wonder if there are any more fakes.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a little something to add, Timmy.
Yeah.
Well, also the
How
original.
about that?
What's
That's a book Gary Kelly put together called The Stolen Smile, about the theft of Mona Lisa.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking about that when you were talking about it.
It is an unbelievable picture book.
is it a children's book or is it?
It's a picture book. It's for everybody, for adults too.
Oh, whoa.
But this is one of and it's a great story,
Yeah.
and the artwork is phenomenal.
Wow.
The design work, the artwork, it all is just absolutely phenomenal.
The Stolen Smile.
The
Oh,
Stolen Smile.
show the Kafka one. Oh, that's a great one too.
Here's the
Oh,
Kafka.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Boom. Ordered.
Yeah. That's a great story too.
Yep. So, speaking of art thefts and great artists, two of them.
I'm ordering this right now.
Did that just come out?
No, it's been out. for a
Oh,
while.
it's been out for 15 years.
It pretty much just came out.
Another
Yeah,
one you
that,
get
that
by
counts,
him-
right?
Another one you get by him is Bosch, Blobber, Bosch.
Bosch.
Blobber, Bosch. It's
Bosch.
Hey, Bill, I got
That sounds like a fake.
about 22 of them on my
So do I really want to?
shelf right now.
When I comes
22
up,
different books, John, or 22 copies of that?
No, 22 different Gary Kelly books on my, and I think he's made 33.
Wow.
And every one of them is just as good as the next. They're gorgeous. all of them.
do you have Blosh Bobber Bosch? Because when I search this on Amazon, all that comes up
Bosch,
Bosch screwdrivers and combat drills.
You're looking, Ray?
Oh, Bosch Blob.
Yeah.
BOLOBBERBOSH, Blobberbosh.
Oh my gosh, what a frustrating name. That reminds me of 30 Rock, where it's the rural juror.
Yeah, the Ruhr Juror by Kevin Grisham.
Yeah, Bob Blah's Law. Yeah.
Oh, wait a second. Oh, Blob.
Bob,
John, can you hold that? Can you hold that up again? Blob.
Oh, Ray, man.
This auto corrected back to Bosch drills again.
Right. This makes me
Oh my gosh.
this makes
Ray,
me-
Ray,
Look up
let me help you out, Ray. BOSH,
Oh, BOSH. Okay.
BLOBBERBOSH. Blosh Blobberbosh.
or you could just look up the writer, J. Patrick Lewis,
I think I would. Yeah.
who's written most of Gary's books.
Okay.
BOSH.
On to the next thing, Timmy.
Sorry. I mean,
I hear it
it's such-
now.
this just in. Ray is still on searching. I'm now on to Bosch
He's
blowers.
still on Bosch.
Okay. All right. I hope everybody.
Drills for the everyday man and woman.
All right. Okay. News story number 2. Make way. The Obama portraits unveiled. The Obama's official White House portraits were unveiled in a ceremony on Wednesday in the East Room. President Obama's image was painted by Robert McCurdy, and Michelle Obama's portrait was painted by Sharon Sprung. McCurdy told the White House Historical Association in an interview that his process focused on working off of a photograph, think just like us, of the former president. The photorealistic image of the former president dressed in a black suit with a gray tie is painted against a minimal white backdrop, a signature of McCurdy's artworks. He said that this painting took at least a year to complete. The former First Lady's portrait was painted by Sharon Sprung, who describes her work as contemporary realism. The image depicts Michelle Obama in a blue dress seated on a sofa in the Red Room of the White House. The artwork was painted from photographs taken in different locations on the White House state's floor. Some fun facts and some salacious facts. Michelle Obama's portrait took 6 years to make,
What?
according to Sharon. And then the more, I would say, the drama around this is, and we don't need to dig into it too much, but just everybody who doesn't love drama. The portraits are typically unveiled during the first term of a president's immediate successor. From the New York Times, in Mr. Obama's case, that would have been Mr. Trump, but Mr. Trump did not schedule the ceremony. The break from tradition was a remarkable reflection of the antipathy between the two men. And then it took so long into Biden's presidency, obviously because of COVID, they couldn't host these events. And so finally they were able to unveil it.
And also it looks like the portrait took 6 years to do, right?
Well, that's what I want to know is why did it take 6 years? I mean, it's good, but like,
6 years good.
I don't understand how that took 6 years.
Yeah, so if they would have unveiled it on time, wouldn't the portrait be unfinished?
Exactly my thoughts.
Yeah, sounds like somebody got real lucky with this whole COVID thing.
That was not adding up.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's not beat up on the artist.
Well, otherwise, no, I really like.
I think the portrait's lovely. And I don't, there's an exceptional, that's an amazing commission and set of circumstances in our world, as what most of us do in here, illustrators and, contemporary or commercial gallery painters. It would be very difficult to make a living doing a 6-year commission. But I know there's all kinds of added
This is
to that.
To add to what John said, I will say this is, I bet you cannot find a more difficult client than the White House.
Yeah.
I bet 4 of those years are just dealing with like White House aides.
Well, that's what I was wondering. I wasn't a discussion on her art process. This is more of a discussion on like, okay, so was it going back and forth as to like what was going to be the pose and the right photographs for reference? Like that was more my question. Like I've seen her work and I follow her on Instagram. Like I've seen like how she paints and she's really good and she paints fast enough that I don't, like a 6-year timeline. I'm just curious to understand.
Here's another thing I'll say, and John and I've talked about this before. So I just like read a quote from like, I think that was from CNN about the 6 years. There is such a good chance that artist is like, I didn't say it that way.
I believe that. I believe that.
No, I was commenting on it took 6 years and yet it was delayed because the previous administration didn't schedule the unveiling. You see what I'm saying? But if it was 6 years.
So hypothetically, when was it hired? That's the real question.
Right.
Because it could have been hired, I believe, at any point during the Obama admin. So
yeah, it just was a weird time thing. Like it just didn't make, that was the only thing about the blurb that didn't really make any sense. But yeah, Sharon Sprung is a G, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's been around for a long time. And
I probably just like rattled off some like fake news. Sorry, everybody. She probably was like, I said 6 months.
Or probably just the process of like being able to complete the commission was also dependent upon this timeline.
Timmy, did you check your sources? That's all I want to know.
I did. I spent a total of, so just to be clear, everybody, this is a news segment and then followed by trivia. I dedicated a full, an entire 30 minutes yesterday to doing this.
Well, Timmy, if anybody questions, send them our intro and they will never call you again. They'll never bother.
I just also want
I thought if there was any complaints, it's supposed to be Dale Stefanos at visualpassage.com, right?
Yeah. I think that's the catch-all, like, feedback email.
I do just want to remind everybody that if you are getting your news from the Thursday night drawing event, you're in trouble.
You asked for it.
Yeah. sometimes I just say false things in this room just to see. No, I'm just teasing, but I did.
So-
If you haven't seen, I've shared the image on the screen, panelists.
Oh yeah.
I love Robert McCurdy's way of handling it. Like it's just beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, they're
I
both
wonder-
lovely.
I mean, they're
I
both
thought-
lovely, but I'm really excited about just, I don't know, like I just think it's so cool.
I like
the
that. I like the fact that the Obamas in their choices of artists have been, they've been willing to go outside the box, and they've chosen some really nice stuff.
I think
I
it
was-
speaks to me that they're really interested in the current art scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ray, what'd you say?
No, I thought the Kahinda Wiley was the official one.
That was the one for the National Portrait Gallery. This is the one for the White House.
Got it.
Oh,
So
one
there's
was-
two sets of portraits, always one for the White House, always one for the National Portrait Gallery.
So yeah.
Ray, didn't you do the you did the Trump and the tennis sweater, right?
No. That would have been a nice payday, and I would I would have admitted it.
You wouldn't have not. You wouldn't.
But you would have heard my Lamborghini in the background.
You would have.
You would be drawing from your Lamborghini, right?
You'd still
Yeah, I'd
be
be
trying to
driving.
collect.
Yeah. Drive for my Lamborghini. I love it.
Yeah, me and John were talking about, when you quote something for that type of person, it's just, you just better be the most expensive one.
That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't even know where you begin. Like
It's I mean, it's definitely a whole process. I know one who did the artist who did George W. Bush's portrait, Mark Carter, and
Oh wow.
he told me it was like it is a whole thing, and there's a club that finances it, at least when he had it, like, and so you got to go through the club as well. It's like they have these society clubs that like basically underwrite the whole thing, and yeah, as you could imagine, it's pretty political. What a shocker, right?
Yeah, so this is the end of the first pose.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we are moving on to pose number 2. So please post your work to Instagram with hashtag illustration isolation and add visual arts passage. We're going to check out all the art at the end of the night. So please do it. It's got to be in the caption and it's got to be a post. None of this like TikTok reels stuff.
Hey,
You can't see that. It just doesn't work. But please post your work because it is really special and fun to see the community posting at the end of the night. And it looks like we got a lot of new people here tonight. So I want to see new work. So please share it. I am upgrading new people as fast as possible when in between reading news stories. So check your Discord if you just joined our server, and you should have
Thank
access.
you for joining us.
Yeah, welcome.
yeah.
Now, I have a question for the panel. If you could paint the portrait of any president, past president, who would you want to paint and why?
I thought we were gonna ask like if there was any leader. I would be like, man, during the first is one of my top people. You know, the person from pose 1.
Yeah, he was the 4th, wasn't he?
The 4th, yeah, he was the 4th. But the first, the OG one, I would love that. But if we're talking about real people, well, boy.
Like if you could go back in time.
Yeah, I mean, we get. I think everybody. Yeah, like what president do you want to?
Oh,
You know, who,
Yeah.
There would be quite a few that would be fun to draw. I've done a couple already, but I've done a Harry Truman for the Truman Museum. That was fun, but I tell you what, I'd probably pick Obama, just because I like him so much, and that would have something to do with it. I think a really interesting person to draw is LBJ, largest ears and nose. Be very fun to draw him. I've done, and we've probably all done Lincoln, right? At some
Oh
point.
yeah.
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 I've done Lincoln probably 6 or 7 times for, client work.
I think we're gonna have time, so I'm gonna continue news segment with this was contributed from Cassandra, and I loved it.
Wow,
And
that's some good.
I've just got some snippet.
Good.
Okay, we are running the transcript, everybody, so let's watch let's make sure we're not talking over each other. All right, the presidents who hated their presidential portraits. Presidents and first ladies typically select their respective artists before leaving the White House, but sometimes they are not happy with the initial results. And I've just got some like snippets because it was pretty long. And across the board, it seemed as though most of the time presidents are not too hot about their portraits. They believe it or not, there is some vanity in the White House. But here's one. President Theodore Roosevelt griped that his made him look like a mewing cat.
Like a what?
Like a mewing cat.
So he's talking about the sergeant one.
Yes. And then
Yeah.
President Lyndon B. Johnson called his the ugliest thing I ever saw.
Yeah, I heard that.
Pres-
What portrait of Lyndon B. Johnson?
He contributed to that personally.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to say about a painting of yourself.
Yeah.
President Ronald Reagan ordered a do-over. And then this one's actually really fun. I liked this one a lot. President Richard M. Nixon did not have time to sit for a portrait before he resigned in 1974 because of the Watergate scandal, and he finally had one done by Alexander Clayton, showing the former president sitting at his Oval Office desk. The painting turned up on a White House wall in 1981, placed without fanfare. So somebody just kind of was like, I'm going down the hall. Do you want me to put it up?
Yeah, seriously.
Guess we gotta hang if he was the president.
We
Ray,
have to
Ray
have-
wasn't in the room. I'm going to say this again because I think it's a fun fact since we're talking. We
Yeah.
can tie some things together. Nancy Reagan tried really hard to buy my dad's time cover of Ronald Reagan.
No way.
Yeah, but Smithsonian wouldn't give it to her.
Wow.
All of those went into, at the time, all of them went into the Smithsonian.
Yeah. So,
Oh, wow.
and on that note, John, Reagan's portrait unveiling was delayed because he and his wife, Nancy, did not care for the first effort by Aaron Schickler, who had painted the official portraits of President John F. Kennedy and Jacqueline Kennedy. Nancy Reagan liked the painting of her in a red dress, but she thought her husband's portrait lacked that twinkle in his eye.
Well, my dad must have got the twinkle right.
Yeah, he nailed the twinkle.
Daddy did,
They probably did it in like a tenth of a time.
right?
That
He
just
did 3 of them in 2 days. So yeah.
10,000th of a time.
doesn't that feel like what like an art director is going to start saying? Like, could you just give us more twinkle in there?
No doubt. No
It's-
doubt.
This one's lacking twinkle.
Do you know the story behind the Teddy Roosevelt painting?
No.
Which one, the
So-
Gary Melcher or the John Singer Sargent?
The sergeant one. So him and Sergeant were like, Sergeant visited him and he was going around the house, going around the White House, trying different things and trying different places to set up the portrait. And Roosevelt just got so frustrated and impatient. So he was like, let's just do it here. And he put his hand on a railing. He was like, just do it right here. And that's how they got the pose. And he wouldn't stop. He wouldn't stop moving and he wouldn't stop talking throughout the whole thing. And I think he missed a couple of sittings. So I'm not sure about so it was just kind of unfinished. And I'm sure
I heard another version of that story.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, the other version of that story is sort of like Sergeant was following him around, trying to get him to like stand still long enough to do it. And Roosevelt was not being cooperative at all. And then finally, the Sergeant said something sort of snotty to him. And Roosevelt turned around and put his hand on the post. And Sergeant's like, wait, stop. I'm going to paint you just like that. So the story version I heard, it was actually, Sargent's choice to paint
Wow.
him.
Oh, that's almost as aggressive as taking the cigar.
I mean, that's two big characters in one room. Like, it's going to be complicated.
I mean, to talk to a president in that way, because you don't become president by being like passive.
Right. And this is also John Singer Sargent, who his accounts in like World War One were like he was kind of annoyed at the shelling. He was like he was an artist who was invited to like just document the noise. He was annoyed.
Yeah, but Roosevelt, of all people, I mean, he was not a passive individual.
There's a great story about Roosevelt and the painter Abbott Henderson Thayer, who contributed a lot to about camouflage and wrote a book with his son about camouflage.
Oh, I didn't know that. Really?
Yeah, and Thayer had sent Roosevelt, letters to Roosevelt, and Roosevelt was very dismissive of Thayer, and he was just basically like, "What the F do you know about camouflage? You're a painter. What do you know about pattern and color? I was in the military, and very unflattering, very unkind response to Thayer, whose ideas are still being used today in the use of camouflage.
Wow.
It was instrumental in the changes in how camouflage is used.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
I've just been a fan of his work,
yeah, it's
Wow.
it's a great. I don't remember the exact content of what Roosevelt said to him, but it was just basically like, I went up San Juan Hill. What have you done? Paint
Right.
pictures.
I'm not a big fan of camouflage. Really. So I'm not a big fan of its work.
I like
Abbott Thayer?
I like
I
camouflage.
like it. I'm just joking about it. I'm not a big
Oh,
fan of its camouflage design.
Yeah,
It wasn't exactly the high point of his career.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
big fan of camouflage. But only
Hard to
when-
read.
when it's only like in bright colors, like like in a Beastie Boys music video.
Yeah.
That's it for news. Thanks for tuning in for that segment.
Whoa! You left out
that was-
my other awesome story.
Oh well, we're saving it. I gotta bank some news stories. Cassandra.
You want to save that one because that
You
one's pretty golden.
I feel like Cassandra was your producer on this one and basically just.
Well,
did
he
all
made
the-
a suggestion, and I just finished reading a whole bunch of random stuff, and I was like, "Oh, I read this and this and this and this. Are you tired yet? I heard this."
We're gonna get to it, Cassandra. Don't worry. Don't worry. I have a Lord of the Rings. So trivia, Lord of the Rings. You Google Lord of the Rings trivia. It is there's too much.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a big area there. That's gonna take longer than a half an hour.
It's
Yeah,
up for being the Olympic sport.
Which by the way, because I think we were gonna do this, I think it was gonna be a little too top heavy with me, the show. So I do want to encourage people to ask questions about the art. I think we should talk some tech and learn a little bit about what people are doing before I just jump into the Timmy show again.
It's like a commercial break.
I think you guys need a commercial break of actual content. So maybe we could go around. Is anybody doing anything different tonight, technically? Or like tackling these images differently?
I'm working slower. That counts.
I just like that we're the commercial break.
Yeah, Bill, do you like how I've done that where I'm like, now you guys are just secondary.
Yeah.
No, you're not the commercial break. Bill, somebody asked, what are you working with tonight?
I'm working with chalk pastel on paper, and I'm just working. This one I started with the lights instead of starting with the darks, and I'm just sort of trying to keep things as vague as possible until I have to nail it down.
Yeah.
And hopefully the actress won't be upset with the portrait I'm doing of her if she sees it.
Yeah, that's I mean, this is so softly lit that you
Yeah.
kind of have to. Actually, I was just looking at Abbott Thayer that I'm kind of referencing, where it's like super tight in values for the light and shadow, and just
Yeah.
doing a lot of your modeling or your sculpting with just those two light values. Exactly like what you're doing, Bill.
But I'm liking the series so far. I watched a couple episodes of it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
Wasn't the budget like $1 billion?
Oh, it was literally $1 million a minute. So like at the beginning, we were just watching the opening sequence. I was like, and that was $2 million.
Which
That's
I
more than
believe
right.
just a heads up, guys. The trivia, we're gonna get into it.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just saying, save it because it's good. And this is your guys' moment to shine as artists.
Oh,
He says as he's hoping we wrap up soon so he can get back to the TV show.
Oh, this is a little, we got like 15, there's 15 minutes left in this post, so keep on working. John, are you tired of drawing fantasy characters today? It's a fun
No, because really, it's really easy for me because I don't know any of who these people are. They're just cool photographs.
You just pretending that guy's somebody from Raytown.
Yeah.
he's really just pretending that axe, was a tennis racket, and
This is your typical Buffalo Bills fan, and I just thinking,
Spirited. Yeah,
Perfect.
they're a lot like the dwarves. Yeah. Proud people.
Yep.
Afraid of
used to-
it. And
Yeah, they got loaded, collecting raw materials, Yeah. And then their mind shut down. Yeah, for sure. I like it.
The Pennsylvania fan.
Yeah, it's the Rust Belt. They're the Rust Belt heroes, the dwarves,
I always love that term, the Rust Belt. And if you haven't been,
Come to Buffalo. I agree.
yeah, come to Buffalo. Oh, you could start in like Toledo, and go to Columbus. And there's all kinds of interesting stories. I'm not beating up on the Rust Belt. It is what it is, but there's some really interesting history there.
of all of the images that we picked out for tonight, were there any, which by the way, Elena helped tonight.
You did. Thank you, Elena.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Elena.
Saves John some time, which is really great, and picked out some awesome stuff. But are there any images that you're particularly thought are going to be challenging, or that you really looked forward to drawing most?
I was excited about this one, the one that I'm not moving on from.
Me too.
Yeah, just because of that beard.
Yeah, it's like just some wily hair, and I love it. I liked his character a lot. I thought he was really funny in the show. Like the character that we painted as the first pose earlier, John plays his wife on the show.
He's married.
Well, on the show,
Oh, okay.
which was also exciting because it was, people were talking a lot about like female dwarfs are going to be represented, and in the book, like they're described as having beards too. So I was waiting to see how they were going to like display or show them.
Yeah.
She had a beard, did she?
There was like hints of one, but they kept it pretty subtle.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Huh.
I just like that there's a lot of female characters represented in the show in general. Because in the movies, there's like 2.
Yeah.
It is not I think that show is so, at least the 2 episodes that I saw, because are there only 2 out?
Yeah, only 2 out so far.
Okay, so the both that I've seen it were just like, it is exquisitely done. Like everything is
Beautiful.
so well done. I was just shocked about how just gorgeous every frame was,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna reel it back in and say, does anybody have any, because we are gonna be doing Lord of the Rings trivia later.
It's because you
Okay.
told us we're going to talk about it later that we totally want to talk about it now. But
Well,
when we're
because
going to
it is
talk about it,
later,
we're going to change
yeah.
the subject.
exactly.
I know it is a magnet that keeps pulling us towards it.
What do you want out of
Ray,
this?
Ray, let me, if you guys want to really talk about that, let me start with something and Timmy will revert back to it. So Ray, how are the Bills going to do tonight?
Yeah.
Well,
All right, let's talk about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And he'll be just fine with it, with the
Yeah.
trivia stuff now.
Yeah, you guys start talking about the Bills. We're gonna talk about all things. Tolkien is fine.
Oh, I am happy to talk to you guys about what happens when you have two 5-year-olds start kindergarten at the same time. It means they get colds, and now I have a cold, and that's why I'm moving so slow.
Oh no.
Do you have a ton of work coming in too right now? I mean,
Yeah, I have a painting that I need to finish. We'll see how it goes. It's a real fun one. I'm loving it. I'm painting a turkey as Henry VIII because I think body-wise they're very similarly shaped.
kind of pear shape.
Wow. I never thought I gotta see this thing because I'm sure I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's all. And then watch it when I see it. I know that's the only thing.
You looking
can't
at
unsee
Holbein?
it.
You're always looking at Holbein.
I love Holbein the Younger so much.
He's
Yeah,
he's got to be your main source of inspiration.
he
isn't
really is, especially
Can you-
lately.
Can you all elaborate?
Okay, so Holbein was kind of like Holbein the Younger was the portrait artist of the Tudors that was just, he painted with a sense of realism that just was magnificent. And he paid so much attention to the patterning. I mean, so did William Larkin, but I just feel like when you go to the London Portrait Museum, that's who you look at. Like most of those portraits of the court of Henry VIII is his. It's just magnificently done. Fascinating to see the expressions. I don't know. I'm just in love with Holbein, and I couldn't resist. Yeah, I did another Holbein because I love all the patterning, and I'm just having fun playing up that shape and like little tiny turkey legs with like a big wide brocade coat and furs.
I'll take it a little bit further, Cassandra. I think Holbein was way ahead of his time.
Oh, he really was.
He combined pattern and line, different visual languages together. I think long before anybody else did. And he was just a superb designer.
His sense of realism, just also not just in painting the person, but like creating the environment around him. You understood what the room was like that the person existed in, or the throne they sat on. Like it's just magnificently done.
He influenced a lot of other artists.
I don't know how he couldn't.
He's one of those artists where you're like, how did he come up with that?
Yeah,
because nobody was doing it before him.
no.
And the crazy thing is, I mean, if you showed us, if he put a portfolio together of his work and took it out into the world today, it would look just as fresh. It's just so unbelievable.
It just holds up. It's timeless. I'm forever inspired by his stuff.
I have a question. Do you think it's possible, and I'm speaking like I don't know the history of this, but do you think it's possible that he possibly had peers that failed to succeed and were just like forgotten by time and history that he learned from? Or do you think it's just a freak deal? It's just like, nope, he just came out of nowhere.
Oh no, I mean, it's definitely recognized. I can't remember, honestly. I've read about the artists that have taught him and he apprenticed under, and like he also apprenticed a lot of artists.
Right. Well, he was keep going. I'll think of some names here in a second.
Well, I mean, it's just like great athletes. It's just like they're just like on the shoulders of giants,
Yeah.
Well, there's copies of his drawings, of Dürer drawings. And he was very influenced by Dürer.
Yeah, and then it doesn't, I guess, negate any level of brilliance still.
No, it doesn't, stuff like that doesn't happen in a vacuum.
Yeah.
What you're asking. Yeah. You could even see it with Da Vinci, and people like Velasquez. You could see where the influences came. Heck, John Singer Sargent's another one, I mean, how many people know who Carolus Duran is? Like, a lot less people than know who John Singer Sargent is, and Carolus Duran taught him everything.
Right. I
but
mean, you
it's,
can see a lot of really like Corelli, is it Carlo Cavallotti? He did a lot of the Renaissance saints. Like the way he paints is he looks modern. He looks like he could belong in this time period. The way that he paints, it kind of blows my mind that he's from the 15th century.
I think that about, yeah, Holbein too. I just think
Yeah.
that, man, guy is just magnificent.
I have a question, because one of the things that, you know, like Tolkien is known for, like posthumous success, right? And that's always been such a common story with artists. Do you think we've entered an era of like that being kind of the way of the dodo, and that like if you are good and skilled and you have the resources you need, you will be discovered like during your lifetime? Like it's not going to take 100 years for your work to be, you know, let alone like you're not going to be able to compete in 100 years just because of the sheer like volume that everybody is occupying. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Do you
Geez,
think
I probably, I don't know. I don't think I would. I think that's still possible today. I mean, heck, I mean, the artists that we talk about today probably won't be talked about 100 years from now. It's not guaranteed that people will be talking about Velasquez and, you know, John Singer Sargent. I mean, Velasquez fell out of favor, you know, shortly after he died, and only came back in the 19th century. So in hundreds of years, you know, before people started talking about its work again. So I think there's a space for it. I think that's possible. Because
Yeah.
I mean, what do you guys think that there are artists that weren't that their time wasn't ready for?
Yeah, definitely. I do.
You know, and I still think that there are artists today that's probably going to happen.
that are like ahead of their time?
Yeah, I think so.
We're
Does
not
it-
understood in this time.
Does anybody come to mind when you think of artists today that are just operating on like a whole other plane? They're painting in the year 3001 kind of.
There's a lot of them. I mean, I go on Instagram and I'm like,
Yeah.
just kind of like blown away by how good, you know, the competition is, and
The
also
one
just
that comes to mind first for me is I became a big fan because it was kind of my father's hero, is Manola Valdez. And that guy, I think, is on another planet. I think he's just head and shoulders. I kind of feel that way about I'm awful at coming up with people's names.
Yeah.
Jerome Whitkin. I think he's just out of this world too.
yeah.
But I think that Valdez he's doing something. He's breaking ground and working in a way that is just magnificent. Nobody else is in the same league as him.
I mean,
Everyone's quiet now.
no, I'm just thinking, because I'm thinking like people like, for me, who did that was Robert Cunningham when I was first like studying people, or people like
yeah, but you
Tokyo.
can see, but after you looked at Robert Cunningham, you can see what he was influenced by. You know, if this were 1940, I would say Dievenkorn, you know, but that's that group of painters definitely influenced Cunningham. And Cunningham's amazing. I mean, he's one of my favorite artists. But I can't.
I don't mean to put anybody on the spot, because I know it's really hard to like come up with like to think of these names on the spot. But do any like non-male names come to mind too?
Lisa Butler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's getting proper attention now, but she's the one I was telling you that does all these amazing portraits on quilts and makes everything out of fabric.
Wow.
And you know, she's taking a form that's traditional to women and making it very contemporary and speaking to all generations about things in the past. I think it's so well done and so unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think painters like Colleen Barry is another one.
Colleen Barry?
Yeah, for me. Who's a contemporary painter. She comes from a very like classical, I'll tell you, a background, but is doing really, really interesting figurative paintings. And Zoe Frank is another person who's like
Oh, yeah.
operating on another level. Like I just another just from a traditional background and is now like fusing abstraction with representational work in a way that I get the influences, but like the combination is what stuns me. It's like wow, so those would be my top picks.
Those are good. Those are good ones.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's hard to think of stuff on the spot like that because it's like somebody the other day was like, "Who's your favorite comedian?" And I was just like, Jim Carrey."
Yeah.
You're just
It's
like
so hard to think of the names.
Carrot Top? I don't know.
Yeah. I just was like, I can't think of any name. Christian Bale? You're just like, yeah, it's hard. But those are all really, that was really interesting to hear. Cause it's it's a hard thing to imagine, like what's gonna stand the test of time, not what's just good today, what's gonna stand the test of time, which is like can be kind of two different things, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was a James Gurney post on that he did a while ago about how in the 19th century, the center of the art world in Paris, all the French artists got together and they all voted on, out of all of them, who was going to get remembered for all time, like when they were all dead. And they all voted that Ernest Meissonier, out of all of them, would be remembered. And
Who?
exactly, there's no question he was going to be remembered. I know Meissonier's work. He did the if you ever been to the Met, he did the gigantic cavalry painting, Napoleonic cavalry painting.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for horses charging. I'll throw it in the Discord. It's really a stunning piece. But again, like you're,
Good call on Zoe Frank though. Yeah, I agree. Her work, just the way she breaks apart images and creates them is just, it messes with my mind because it's so good.
Yeah, I heard her speak at this conference called Vision X, and about like how she sets everything up, and it's like, boy, that it doesn't come easy, and it's constant, a constant dance and response to the, kind of controlling chaos. And some of those paintings, and you could tell. I mean, some of them take years to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're repainted and layered, and so yeah, but it's still like operating on another level.
I don't want this to come out the wrong way, but it makes me happy to know something that good takes that much work and is a struggle for her. Like,
That was it's like good. I'm glad it shaved years off your life.
like, it's so dang good. I need to know that that's hard.
Yeah, it's like I'm so happy it cost you your youth. Like, that makes me feel better. I know.
What was the name of the artist that you mentioned?
Bisa Butler, Bisa.
Okay.
First name.
Yeah. Somebody had asked earlier about like technique on drawing and like creating shadows. Any rec?
Like the controlling shadows and things like that, or like
sure. Yeah, let's dig into that. Controlling shadows.
You gotta learn your form principles.
Yeah.
It's everything that explains how light affects form, how form is explained with it's all the information you need to know how to render, how light affects form. And form's principles, it's like, what's a cast shadow versus a form shadow, where there's what creates hard edge versus soft edge. You can Google it online and look up form principles, and that will explain it to you. with a sphere. And that's the best. You need to look at that. And you got to relate it to everything. You got to relate it to all objects, because it doesn't change. It does the same thing to everything.
That's
Well,
huge.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Ray.
No, I was going to say, I mean, looking at form principle, is everyone's, like, a lot of artists' first foray into understanding that nature has an order to it that is almost goes unseen to ordinary, to the layperson's eyes, and understanding how to control that and organize information. That's the first step in the form principle, is helping you do that.
All right, so this is the end of the second pose. So we're moving on to our third and final pose. You can choose between one of the two remaining images. Please post your work now to Instagram, #illustration_isolation, @visual arts passage. This is our last pose, so it's going to be a little bit longer. It's usually like 30 to 40 minutes. We're on time tonight, so it's probably gonna be like 40. So yeah, this structure is really keeping me on time.
So I don't mean to be the fly in the ointment, but I was told that there would be trivia. That's the only reason why I showed up today. So
Yeah.
Cassandra and I are ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do trivia teams? Should we do trivia teams?
Bill, you're a Tolkien person, right?
A little bit. I don't know. I
There you
mean,
go,
I read-
Bill and John, Cassandra and I. I don't see. I think that's balanced.
So
John's
this is very different, because most of my life, when you're picking teams, pick you like on the playground for athletic prowess. I was always like the first one picked. Now I'm the last one picked.
Well, if it makes you feel better, John, I was always last picked on the playground. So
John, you're
I
gonna
was
be
never picked.
you're the kid looking at the ground.
I can't even Google that fast, so I can't even cheat. So go ahead.
Everybody play along with the Discord. First of all, who thinks I'm not going to keep track? Somebody in the audience keep track of who's winning, because I'm not going to count out points for these people. But I do want to know who thinks which team's going to win. I think it's a toss-up.
I already know which team's gonna win.
Oh,
Wow, Bill's pretty
Everyone,
confident.
John,
I was
Yeah.
gonna say
You,
Bill's coming in
John.
confident.
No,
Yeah,
and I said I'm
love
not.
I
Bring
love
it, Bill.
John,
No, I'm not on the winning team. I know this. It's
all right. Okay.
okay.
Lord of the Rings, Rings of the Power, the Rings of Power trivia. Question 1. How many rings of power were made for the elves, dwarves, and men? So you're going to break it up into 3 groups. Tell me how many rings were made for the elves, how many rings were made for the dwarves, and how many were made for the men?
I
We're
think
coming
there
out the
were
gate. This is the hardest question.
okay. Cassandra, I think there were 9 for men.
John, what do you think?
John's like, let's just wait and see what Ray says.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
I remember 9.
my question is, there were actual rings?
Yeah.
Yes. I think the elves had the least amount, right?
I'm not telling you, Ray. All right, just for
Let's
this.
see. Hold on. So I got Galadriel. I've got. Let's think about the elves here.
I don't know how many for the elves.
Is it 3 for the elves?
I think it's 3 for the elves because it's Galadriel. You had
Eldron.
Elrond. I think did he have a ring? I know Gandalf had one too. One of the rings.
But is Gandalf considered an elf?
No, but I think he got one of the elven rings. I think.
I'm realizing I started off with the worst question.
That's great trivia.
Yeah, killer trivia, Tim. All right.
I know there were 20,
how
there were
about this?
20 magic rings.
All right. How about this? I'm just gonna go ahead and say, you just tell me who you think got the least and who got the most rings, and then we'll
I
call
Okay.
it.
think the elves have the least.
Elves least, men the most.
Yeah,
Final answer.
dwarfs in the middle.
Right. All right. This is just gonna be points for both teams on this one. There were 3 rings for the elves, 7 for dwarves, and 9 for men.
Well, Ray,
How's
you
it-
were close.
How
Yeah.
is it points for both teams though?
Okay, I'll give it to Ray. I'm gonna give it to Ray because you were the first to speak.
No, I'm not alone. Ray and Cassandra, we are a team.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, you're kind of the breadwinner for this team right so far.
I just want to say, like, it's really hard to draw a good portrait when you guys are talking about Holbein and really fantastic drawers, because it totally threw me off my game.
All right.
Totally
Okay.
lost any
Yeah.
confidence I thought I had.
Okay. So one point for team Cassandra and Ray. All right.
Cassandra
Be Cray. We're team Cray.
or Craig. Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that whoever gets closest to answering the top 4 for this one. So what show did Rings of Power surpass in most expensive budget per episode? So you just have whoever can guess the most of the top 4.
I
Um,
think go ahead.
Star Trek.
This is going to be a buzzer thing. So whoever goes first.
Okay. I buzz. Did it surpass the Foundation Apple TV Plus?
Submit them and then I'll tell you.
I think it was $11 million an episode. No, more than that.
No, it was more. Or you mean I mean, I can tell you that like the first episode, I think was like $66 million.
For the Foundation.
No, for the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, okay. I'm saying that it surpassed like what the question was what it surpassed, right?
Okay,
Yes.
yeah.
What shows were in the top 4 that it passed?
One of them I would think would be Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Game of Thrones, the
Star
Foundation.
Trek, the-
Hey, so it's guys, I just want to remind you, trivia, it's Ray, submit your 4.
Okay. Oh, so okay. Well, Cassandra and I have to. Since we got the first one, we
Yeah,
can go first in terms of answer.
Well, you're
Okay,
just
so-
making up rules now. Go ahead.
Come on. Guys, I got so many trivia questions. I need things to get.
To the winner goes the spoils, John. If you
Ray, final answer.
All right.
all right, Cassandra. What do you think about the Foundation, Game of Thrones, and I would say either Deadwood was pretty expensive, but I would think like something like Westworld
about-
also surpassed it, right?
Oh gosh, I'm trying to think of like
You guys gotta submit these things faster.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to think of like expensive shows. What were expensive shows? Like was Lost?
No, it's much more expensive than
I'm dying
I'm
here.
thinking. Okay,
right,
so we'll
all
do.
right.
How about this? The Crown, the Foundation, and Game of Thrones are our 3.
See, I'd like
All
make a vote for like Downton
Bill,
Abbey.
all
Just
right,
because.
Bill, submit 3. Bill and John, submit 3 most expensive shows.
John, what do you think?
I think Game of Thrones. I think Westworld.
World. Oh, I just thought of one.
I think Star Trek, any of the new Star Trek series.
Yeah, they look.
What
they're
about
pretty expensive.
Boys?
Okay, Bill, I put Star Trek in there and come up with one more, Bill, real quick.
Sandman.
Okay.
Okay, all right. This is for the amount of time we spent on this question, the fact that nobody is getting a point.
What?
It's
That's
impossible.
getting mad.
Yeah, okay. Top 4 most expensive shows that this surpassed. Stranger Things, $30 million per episode.
Oh,
kidding
Stranger
me.
Things.
Yeah,
Yeah, of
literally
course.
anything, literally, if you had said anything in the Marvel universe, $25 million per episode. You all said Game of Thrones, but you didn't say House of Dragon, which is 20 million per episode. And so, and both teams said it, so it's a null point. The Pacific. Do you remember the Pacific?
Oh, wasn't that the World War One?
Yeah. There's a follow-up to Band of Brothers, $20 million per episode, which with inflation, because I looked this up because I was like 20 million in 2010, especially with today's money. That's actually $30 million
Wow.
today.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. These are now the rest is just multiple choice. So everybody's going to be smooth sailing from here.
Way to start with like the hardest possible like
Yeah.
questions.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I said, God, I thought it is such a good job. I'm like skipping the next question because I'm like, what a waste of time. All right. What Middle Earth race is Gollum most closely related to?
Beep, beep,
That's easy.
hobbits.
Okay. All right. God, it's either way too hard or way too easy. Yeah, you guys both won. 1 point for both teams, 2-1 now. All right. What famous author did Tolkien often share his ideas with when writing his novels? There's multiple choice, so let me get through.
Okay.
Let me shh. E.B. White, C.S. Lewis, Ernest Hemingway,
Well, you didn't get the answer.
Beatrix Potter, Lewis Carroll.
C.S. Lewis.
Okay. The point goes to Ray and Cassandra are cleaning up.
Wait, you got C.S. Lewis as well.
Yeah. Bill said C.S. Lewis.
Yeah, you guys got to wait. It's multiple choice. You got to wait until I'm finished the question.
But I didn't know that. You guys are
But
making up the
before
rules
you were
as you
like,
go.
answer fast, and I knew the answer, and now you're like too fast answering.
You guys ever go to a bar trivia?
Yeah,
I've
that's
actually never been.
All right. All
it's pretty
right.
close to this
Yeah,
experience.
yeah. Bunch of drunk idiots.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
I didn't have to wait for the whole question.
Yeah, you just got to let me say the whole question.
Oh, God.
Because
Okay.
let the people at home enjoy answering as well.
Okay.
You just got to let me finish the sentence. What do the initials JRR stand for?
The multiple choice or just
I know, I was waiting.
I just assumed I was waiting. You know what? I honestly thought there's no way they're going to let me read these out.
We were waiting.
All right, I'll
Hold
read
it.
You just told us to wait
Jonathan.
to you to read out, and then
All right. Jonathan, Richard, Rife, James, Ronald, Rawl. They actually stand for nothing. It's just JRR. Everybody calls them JRR. John Ronald Rule.
John Ronald Rule.
It's correct. Point goes to Bill. All right, this one's not multiple choice. Who created the One Ring?
ding ding ding. Sauron.
Yep, Sauron. One for Ray.
I also said Sauron.
Well, I just heard Ray say it first. So sorry. Don't worry. Everybody's a winner tonight, Bill. At what prestigious university did Tolkien hold a seat? Cambridge, York, NYU, Oxford.
Beep, 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 Oxford.
Oxford is correct. What famous medieval text was Tolkien famous for translating? The Bible, the Dead Sea Scrolls, Tristan and Isolde, or Beowulf?
Beowulf.
It's Tristan and Isolde, right?
Nope,
Is it-
Beowulf.
Oh, was it Beowulf? Oh no. Sorry,
Yeah.
Cassandra.
Hey, you were holding up the other side of stuff for me.
Oh no.
All right. Okay. The majority of Tolkien's books were atypically published in which manner? Serially, in a newspaper, paperback, or not in English, or posthumously. Sorry.
Can you say the first part of the question again?
Yeah.
Paperback.
Majority of
Because-
Tolkien books
yeah.
were typically published in which manner? Posthumously, serially, in paperback, in French.
Say paperback.
Paperback.
That's it. Yeah.
My source said posthumously. So, and this is from TolkienTrivia.com. So
Posthumously, I thought The Hobbit came out when he was alive.
Yeah, because I remember.
you
Are you
guys
talking-
got caught up. You got caught up in the question. It's the majority of Tolkien's books,
Oh.
not the hits.
That was a trick question.
It was. That question was for listeners. All right. This is a quick one because I know you're going to know. John English is going to know the answer to this one. What is Gollum's real name?
Smeagol.
Yep. There you go. Got one more trivia question for you guys. What famous cartoonist created a film adaptation of Lord of the Rings?
Ralph Bakshi.
Nailed it.
Yeah,
My girls love it.
actually.
All right.
All right. What was the final score? I think we tied. Because we're all winners.
We're all champions here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody gets a trophy.
Did you hear how disappointed he said? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like
Disgusted with
I
it.
dropped the ball tonight on trivia. I feel like I didn't control the room well.
I yelled
I
at
mean,
your
I'm
contestants.
impressed that you think
I
that
feel like
you
I
would
feel
have
like-
control.
I feel like I lost control of my temper.
I feel like you're yelling at the
Yeah.
volunteers
I think
here.
that's my favorite part about the trivia is when you get so
Yeah.
annoyed and
Yeah.
you just get exasperated.
Yeah. I just thought it was going to go differently in my head.
I was thoroughly entertained. How about you all? Were you thoroughly entertained?
Oh, absolutely. Timmy, we
I
have
think-
time. We can do more trivia.
Yeah, we can continue the trivia. If people like trivia, we'll continue to do it. If people don't like it, there's just no reason to continue it. Xander says everybody gets a trophy, spoken like a true millennial, which I heard recently somebody else say this. They're like, who's really at fault for the trophies? Because boomers were the ones who gave us the trophies. so like, I don't know. The millennial
Is that ever passing the buck?
yeah, you guys
So
are
basically, we have John to blame for this.
That's right.
John, you're the one who gave us the trophies.
You're the one that caused this trivia to be created, John. Not Tim.
Had to do something to stop your whining.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
To stop whining and stop putting bottle rockets in our cigars.
Just give him a damn trophy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, people on Discord, like, you need to vote on the trivia, whether or not you want it to continue, because it's not light work.
How about this? How about this?
Yeah.
We do trivia,
Yeah.
but you set up the rules before,
Yeah.
right? So it's
gonna have to-
everything's nice and
I have to
clean.
work on being a better host, a trivia host.
No, it's not.
You ask really good questions.
Yeah.
People really like the trivia.
Did they?
I'm also, I think it's really entertaining with how annoyed you get. I was like, I enjoyed that.
I'm glad I could bring that to the table.
See, I thought they were gonna be like illustration, like Tolkien questions.
No, man, I had like 20 minutes. I was like,
No, I think it's great. I
Yeah.
think you could, I'm just saying, like, if John didn't see, he probably know. I mean, John, you know who John Howell is, and
yeah.
those. So, like,
Okay.
I could
I'll make
contribute
it better.
some art stuff too. I wouldn't mind doing that.
Yeah.
Just give me
no,
a text if I'm around. I'll help.
Ray, does this sound like you did homework in advance? Like you were
Oh.
researching that ahead of time?
Yeah.
Hey, Ray, it sounds like we could ask Terry Brown a few of these questions. Reach
Yeah.
out for a few illustration trivia questions.
Like, can you imagine Terry's trivia? Oh my
Oh my
god!
gosh.
First of all, incredible alliteration. You're welcome,
Mhm.
world. Right, and it would be incredible. John, can we make that happen?
I think we got to do a combo of things, but I think Terry can really contribute on the illustration side.
Oh man,
Wait, are you
That
guys
would
just
be-
replacing? You're just like, you know,
You're
maybe-
not replacing it, Timmy. You told us it was a lot of work. We're trying to think of how we can
I'm
give you
just
a break.
So
know,
for
I
our
just-
new
it's really
trivia
funny.
host, Timmy, you're great. For our new trivia host,
Yeah, I just
we get
love
somebody
that.
taller.
Yeah. You're just like, yeah, it'd be nice if our host was like 6 feet tall, even though Timmy's not on video, you can tell he's short. Yeah. No, we will continue it because I'm gonna go ahead and say, but the Discord feedback before trivia, I would assume that we were talking to a room of no one, and all of a sudden there's like everybody came out of the woodwork for trivia. So
Really?
yeah.
There you go.
Were they contributing? Were they answering questions?
Oh yeah, Discord won. Team Discord won.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
they-
Seeing a lot of hashtag Team Cray Cray. Which one's Timmy? Let's see. Is
Yeah.
John there? Did John leave? Is the least amount I've ever seen John talk. And
John's praying for tennis trivia night.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did the best I could.
Timmy, you did great.
Now you're just fishing for compliments.
I
Yeah,
know.
I am. No, I'm gonna hit you up on that, Ray, and we will continue trivia. Next week is gonna be a special episode, though. We're gonna have a break from trivia and news because we've got a special guest coming on the show, which
Awesome.
I'm really excited about. Let me just 1 second. No,
It's really hard to get George R. Martin on the show, but
Yeah, I
Timmy pulled it off. It's not.
Yeah, no, well, it's a George R. Martin impersonator.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, it's George Pratt. No,
George
No,
Pratt in his sailor's hat.
yeah. There's a photo of the two of them together, which is great. When I was at Spectrum, this is probably like 6 years ago. John, Darren Kennedy.
Yeah.
I was walking down one of the aisles, and he goes, "Dude, you just bumped into George R. Martin." And I turned around, I looked at the guy, and I was like, "Dude, that guy totally looks like George R. Martin." And he was like, "No, it's like really him." Yeah. But I did not have any sort of interaction with him. It's probably for the best. But no, Matthew Salacuse passed along our info and did a really great rec for one of his good friends and incredible photographer named Chris Buck. And so Chris Buck's going to come on the show. We're going to draw some of his photography. He has photographed everybody. It's nuts.
Wow.
He's an absolute machine. So I'm really excited. John and I have been like looking at his photography. He did I'll drop a link to his work just so people can check it out and get excited. The exciting thing is he's gonna come on the show for a little bit. We're probably gonna chat and ask some questions and maybe get some good stories out of him. He's photographed Obama. A few of my favorite portraits where he did a photo series with Chris Farley back in the day.
Oh, cool.
Kendrick Lamar.
Think he'll do the trivia for us?
That's why I'm cutting. I would be so ashamed if I had to do trivia with Chris Buck. Yeah, no, so I definitely recommend tuning in next week because that's going to be really fun. We're going to have some talented people here. Yeah.
Great. How's the land of like VR? Are you doing more with that still?
Oh, yeah, we're still working on that project that's still being developed. I just purchased I've been messing around in Gravity Sketch, and I just purchased this software called Shaper 3D. or something
I'm
like
sorry,
that.
I'm not cool on any of that stuff. What is Gravity Sketch?
So it's like a 3D sculpting, but in VR.
Oh, okay, like the Google Sketch thing. Is
Exactly like that.
Okay.
Exactly like that. Yeah. And that's been, you look at that type of stuff is like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I didn't see any tutorials on it, so I've got to actually do my due diligence. But like messing around with it, it's like, wow, okay, this is like the to paraphrase this guy Mark Carter, who I'm working on, who's working with on this VR project. He's the one who did the presidential portrait. He's the guy who's heading up this VR project. He said that we're in the brick cell phone era of this type of technology. And
Wow.
when you see this type of stuff, it's like, wow, like, this is as bad as it gets, and it's like incredible. It's going to be
That's exciting.
yeah, it's cool stuff. The landscape's going to change so much. I wonder if this is what it felt like when like computers started being able to do artwork. I mean, I don't, like when I was around, digital art was already kind of there already, but I mean, John and Bill, I mean, did you saw the genesis of all that stuff, right? I mean,
Yeah, it sucked.
really?
It was really crappy. Yeah. And you were like,
Wow.
this is never going to happen. Because it just, at least the stuff that I saw back in like 1987.
Yeah.
And I even made something on the computer, and then I got a slide printed out from it. And
Wow.
it was tiny, and it was like, that's all it can do. But very, just a few years after that, in around 1991, 1992, then it started to get impressive.
Right.
Because Photoshop came out, and even before Photoshop, there was actually a program I really liked called Studio Paint 32 that you could do paint drips on.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, this is cool. And that was probably 1990, maybe.
Wow.
So
Go figure, right? And like Photoshop, it's like is now this like mega corporate. Adobe's this mega corporation, that owns like everything. And like it was just this like little humble app. Wasn't it like a project that John Knoll from Industrial Light and Magic and his brother were working on, basically?
I don't know.
Yeah. Just something like that. And like the first image that he was was a vacation image that he had taken of his wife to show like lassoing and things like that. It's just these like really humble beginnings. It wasn't anything like crazy, now it's like everyone uses it, which is kind of nuts. But that's the way I kind of think VR, there's an application to it. And I was just, thinking about how, in 10 years, is anybody going to be, next generation is anybody going to be watching movies or like TV shows in 2D, or is 3D filmmaking that actually going to be a thing?
Well, do you remember like they tried to push it like 10 years ago, and there was like 3D TVs, and it went nowhere. Like people
disaster.
Yeah.
So
was that like before their time, or is it something they're going to get back to?
Yeah, I think it kind of looked hokey, right? Because it wasn't like, I mean, this is something that you could wear like a pair of glasses eventually. And
are you talking about 3D like in film, like the Avatar film, like stuff like that?
Well, I'm talking more so like actual immersive.
Oh no, but I was talking about 10 years ago. That's what I meant.
Oh yes.
So I think that actually did work in a way, in that, first of all, it allowed James Cameron to sell projectors with a company he owned to like most movie theaters in the country as a requirement to show those films.
Wow, I did not know that.
And then also, to this day, movies still come out with 3D like that still occurs.
Oh, really?
Really?
It's not, I don't think it's as like as much as a gimmick. Or not as much as a no, what it's, I think that it's simply being used as a way to upcharge customers. I don't think it's as popular, but I do think that it's a way to just like those theaters are just doing anything they can to like scrape more dollars out of any movie. I don't know.
Right.
I think your question is interesting, right? My question would be is do you think in 50 years anybody's going to be sitting down and watching a 90-minute movie?
No,
I don't think
yeah. I mean, I mean, the Quest 2 headset is, it's incredible, but like, it's nothing like I said, like, it's like the brick cell phone era, right? And
Yeah.
like, you open the YouTube app and you can make your a TV, your screen size, like where you're viewing your video, the size of like an IMAX theater,
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, I don't even think people are going to own TVs. It doesn't make any sense to.
Yeah.
It's as crazy as that sounds, it's because there's no, like, I have a TV that's bigger than anyone that I, there's a bigger TV than anyone that I know of, and I could, watch it anytime I want. It doesn't take up any room. It's just a paradigm shift, and I think like art is, gonna follow that for sure.
I have a theory that I'm not like, I don't have a strong conviction on it, but I think like one of my favorite comedians is like, social media is like so bad for you. It's going to be like smoking in like 15 years where people are going to be like, wait, you were on Instagram while you were pregnant? Like,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but I think that there's a possibility, and I watch like my friends' kids like play with screens, and it's amazing how young they can be, and they're just like magnets to them, even before they like have an interaction with them, and it's because they're like watching us with them.
Oh yeah.
They like see how fascinated I am with my screen, and they're like, oh, I want to know what's going on with that. And
Right.
that's kind of like, I think how I grew up with like tobacco, like seeing adults with it. I had this like fascination with it. And I want to say it was like the generation after mine was like, I mean, they were like, that's disgusting. And, like they like basically opted out because it was like their parents' thing. I'm kind of curious if there's going to be a generation, maybe the gen that is the children of Gen Z, that are like, I want nothing to do with this like I want to live my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just curious if the pendulum will swing that way.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, I think there'll still be television, just like there's radio.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I think the
like
role,
they're gonna be like, I'm not saying like they'll be like off the grid people. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, you're right. I think the role that it plays in people's lives is going to change, and it's not going to be the same as it was before. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't own a TV, and it's shocking to my parents that I don't own a TV.
I think that there aren't going to be actors in it, though. I don't think there's going to be humans involved. I think there'll be many, many more. I think if it's going to be, the virtual thing, there's going to be virtual movies. There's going to be virtual content, and
yeah, I mean, like the whole idea of like the avatar and things like that, and I mean, the technology they have coming out now is like the headsets that are going to be coming out are going to have cameras that are going to actually produce a photorealistic avatar of yourself. It's shocking to see it. They have demos of it that I can. I think, did I link that to you, Timmy? Mark Carter had sent it to me, and I thought, well, okay, well, they're definitely thinking about that application. But you're right. It maybe. I mean, if I'm somebody like Brad Pitt, I could essentially be, stay forever young. Like I'll never age, or I can age if I want to. So actors can kind of imagine an actor that can play any age, like will never be kind of aged out of their, out of their profession.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like the weird thing about like I'm trying to remember if it was like Zach Galifianakis or some voice actor was talking about. The reason I'm thinking about voice actors is because like that's the most like obvious thing. Is like, there are voice actors that like in India, like, they play Brad Pitt. Like
Right.
the actor that does the voice for Brad Pitt in all the movies in India. And with like new AI for voice development, like they can basically make Brad Pitt speak any language. And
Oh yeah.
and like that, it's just like a matter of time before like Brad Pitt, and now they're going to be able to like manipulate lip movement. So then just
Right.
like pretty soon, like there just won't be foreign films in the way that we know them today with like subtitles. It's just going to be like dubbed in a way that eventually, it'll take time, but eventually will be amazing. Might be like 30 years from now, but I don't think it'll be that long. I think it'll be sooner. But
Well,
everything always
that,
happens slower than everybody thinks, though. So
and also that's a good example of something that is like a hurdle that an entire industry came like that grew up to solve that problem, but like it's always been an inconvenience. Like the fact that you had to bring somebody else to come in and actually voice that over. But if there was a solution that cut that out, they completely, take that and eradicate the need for that. I mean, we've seen it in illustration. I mean, look at black and white illustration.
Right.
There was a whole market for that, a whole entire market. And John and Bill could speak to that a lot better than I can, but like I remember studying that stuff and you're like, where'd all these people go? Because like that just specialized, or courtroom illustrators, they're still out there, but they're not like, yeah.
So Ray, I have a question for you. When our entertainment is VR produced and VR immersive and AI produced and VR immersive, and there's no longer human beings creating stuff, what are human beings going to be doing?
Do you
illustration is going to be replaced? I mean, people don't see that, but I see that. Like actors.
I don't think we would jump to that conclusion that fast. But
well, why not? I mean, look at what's the music industry.
Yeah, I think its role will change, just like the same way that like illustration in the like illustration itself is a broad term, right? It's meant different things to different people. I mean, you talk to people like somebody like Thomas Blackshear, and he'll tell you that like what he thought as what illustration was doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
But so I don't understand what you meant by look at the music industry, because like, I mean, I'm listening. You can
buy you can buy AI created backing tracks and play an entire concert using AI created music.
Yeah, but like still the top, like, I mean, just telling you right now, like the top 10 rappers are not AI rappers and won't be for a very, very long time. And I mean, still the music industry is still entirely occupied by humans. Like, I don't know that you can point to it and say illustration is going to be dead, because
it is now, but what about the generation that grows up and doesn't care who makes their music?
I kind of feel that like it's actually going to give more power to the artist and require or the people that want more authorship over their work too. I think that the trend is going towards, hey, I'm not a pair of hands anymore. Like it's going less and less towards that. Like it's more about ideas and like what stories that you have to tell, and technology is allowing you to do that with less manpower, with less barrier to entry. I mean,
Right. So that's what I'm saying is that
yeah,
like a lot of session players have been replaced by computers.
right.
Okay.
And it's required. They were required that you needed a session player. It fit a need that was a hurdle, right?
Right. You needed a session player. Now you don't need a session player. So that's a person who's lost a job. Okay. And I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. I'm just saying it's a fact. That's what I mean by look at the music industry.
Right.
Not the people at the top, but the people that, there are people that have lost jobs. So all I'm saying is if I'm a person who can make a film without hiring an actor, without hiring a director or producer, and I can do it by just hiring someone to write prompts and create the thing, the fewer people that I can hire, the fewer and still make the same quality thing, and my audience doesn't care, then I'm going to go that way.
Right.
Because that's just good business,
Right.
And so if I can create Brad Pitt, then why do I need to hire Brad Pitt?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so that's what I mean. Like, what are people going to do? And I don't think this is going to happen in my lifetime.
I mean, I view it, that's exciting to me, because if I can create something that quality and I don't need a ton of people to do it, then why do I need a studio?
Right. But then what about all those people that, what are the people that,
Bill, you're asking like a really complex question that is hard to break down.
I know.
I think you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know that that's one you can have an answer for.
And also, I just think that that's a really dystopian way to like, I think that there's a positive way of looking at the future and there's a negative way. And I think that there's a demand more now than ever for like human, human customization and human personalization in products and services. I think we're seeing that more and more. And I think that there's still value to it. I think it's going to continue to be a tool though, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess if your job was like doing Brad Pitt's voice, I would be like, yeah, you should probably be concerned.
Yeah.
Like we had a speaker last week, Timmy from Industrial Like Magic, Brian. I always say his name wrong. His point of view was that everything that they're doing, the one thing that it's least effective is its ability to design. And, being a creator and a designer was, as he looked at it, was his defense mechanism and the thing that would be the most difficult for it to do. And I'm not saying it won't happen. It's the thing that it's the farthest away.
Yeah. And I'm not thinking that this is going to be even in the next 50 years. I just wonder about what's the result, what's the,
Well, I would say on the interesting side of thing is a lot of these fears were brought up. I remember this being discussed when we went a lot more digital, and really what was the outcome was there's more respect for things done by hand. So I think like there's going to be a balance to it all, but to say we have it figured out, we'll never have it figured out, because at least based on my experience, everything I think that's going to go one way goes the other. So
yeah,
if I spend too much time on it, I just get really stressed.
Yeah. So hey, just to back up, I wanted to just Brian Matyas was his name, and is his name, and that's what he does day in and day out. And he said he's absolutely fascinated with it, but he said it's going to be a long time before somebody replaces him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all going to be replaced by something.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for the future. I mean, I live in a world now where like one of my heroes, can you imagine, NC Wyeth died a frustrated artist because he wanted to be a fine artist because he felt his illustrations would never be taken seriously. And like, I live in a world where that is not even a consideration. Like me coming from, or just coming from a middle-class family like I did, like being able to have access to information like this, or be on a panel like this. I mean, like, I think like there comes a certain point where we're limited by our vision. And I guess at the Bill, that's where you were kind of, kind of concluding on, where it's like, we're not even going to recognize the world that far out, because so many things would have happened, small things,
Right.
that the circumstance of which, in our case, art is being created is going to be completely different, because the audience is going to be completely different, and how we consume things is going to be completely
Right.
different. And I find that like so exciting, because I think we're able to do more now with very little. And like me as a solo person can do the work of like 12 people, in certain cases. I know like Ralph Bakshi talks about that, to bring him back up. Like he had said in during this he was on a panel for the future of computer animation, and somebody was talking telling him about like he got up and he was a frustrated young artist and was saying how like, there's no jobs for 2D animators anymore, and 3D's taken over, and Disney's not hiring, and what do we do? What do we do for this art form that we love? And because technology's erased our jobs. And Bakshi got angry at the person for asking that question. He says, what do you mean, what are you doing? Like, it's just, I made Fritz the Cat, I made all these things on so low budgets that with a small army of people. And nowadays I have this magic box, this computer that does an entire ink and paint department. I could make my own film. It's just instead of complaining, it's like, you people are complaining that you don't have jobs at Disney. It's like, you could become your own Disney.
Well, that's what,
Like,
and I agree
yeah.
with that very much.
Yeah,
So,
so you don't have to, the need to rely on someone else is disappearing, and we don't have to like dream about it. It's happening now. I mean, with Netflix and like and the stuff that we have. I mean, like, think about like Amazon is creating, we're doing a TV show based off of like, that comes from a place that we buy like our books and Bosch drills from, so
And supports my cardboard.
Yeah.
right. So
Hey everybody, by the way, this is 5-minute warning, or really like 3-minute warning, 3-minute warning on this final pose. Yeah, I just want to add to this. This was one of the news stories that I almost introduced, but I was like, nah, don't want to talk about AI. But the first AI rapper got signed to Capitol Records like two weeks ago. And guess who wasn't happy about it? Literally like all hip hop fans.
Yeah.
Because they're like, yo, like rap and hip hop is like a personal story. And it's like, it is like, you'll notice like in hip hop, it's like one of the few genres of music where like nobody covers like a Kanye song. Nobody covers like a Tupac song, because like those like bars and verses are unique to that person. And it's like distinctly human. And it's like very storytelling, like poetry, right? And like nobody wants to hear like a robot generated by like a rap, like, yeah, they don't want to hear like a rap robot. Like, it's just not interesting. So I don't know. To me, that like speaks a lot to like people's interest. I totally see it being used as a great tool. And I think it's obviously going to be insane with how much it changes the way people work and the way we experience things. But when we
And
talk
Timmy,
about-
what
yeah.
do you think that there will be a Capitol Records or a need for a Capitol Records in
No, this is it's
10
such
years,
an
you know?
obvious, like it's such an obvious, like, oh my God, we're relevant.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it was a very compelling idea presented by like somebody on the marketing team at Capitol Records, you know. And it's probably like a fun campaign. And you know what? We're all talking about Capitol Records tonight. So
Right.
it did
Right.
its job, right? But one of the things that we talked about this morning, because we touched on this a little bit, was just like, and I've been reading a lot of Yuval Harari, who is a futurist, anthropologist. He wrote his most famous like book that everybody takes on vacation is Homo Sapiens. But he's been talking a lot about AI and like why people react the way that they do to it. And kind of ironically enough, at the same time, I've been reading a lot about purpose and like how to be satisfied with like who you are. And a lot of that comes from finding purpose in one way or another. And like, that's like a lot of how we like ground our identity is in what we deem like our purpose, where we live or like in our community. And a big part of that, you know, and I'm not saying that this is all of it, but it's like you have something that you love. You have something that can generate money, like that you can like, you know, house and feed yourself. And then you have something that contributes to your community. Like those are three really, really powerful things to have in your life. And if you can have something in your life that covers all of those things, then you have like a vocation that is like really important to you. Right. And like, I think for like art does that for a lot of people. And when something threatens what you consider to be like your purpose or your passion and the thing that you create money, that you house yourself with, that you contribute to a community, that you also love, like that's a terrifying thing. And I think people, when they're scared, they react pretty I don't think people react clear-minded, if that makes sense.
Oh, no, I think that makes perfect sense. And I see that in people's comments about all of this stuff. From sort of everything from denial to completely embracing it to, you know, there's all the broad spectrum of reactions to it.
I think like if I had to, I mean, I haven't been around for nearly as long as, you know,
Careful.
no, I mean like seen, been active in the art community, you know. But I'm, you know, one advice I would give for students is like be a student of history, like when it comes to especially illustration. And you will see that this has happened throughout the entire history of illustration.
Illustration is a product of technology, starting with the Gutenberg press. I mean,
Right.
it's chased it the whole time.
Yes.
All right, everybody, we're moving to Instagram, so post your work.
Hey, John, that piece looks awesome.
Hashtag illustration isolation and add visual arts passage in the caption.
Yeah, that's a great
Okay.
piece.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody, please
Timmy.
post your work to Instagram. Do it now. Don't wait. John's going to be moving there in a couple of minutes. We're not hitting refresh. Do it now.
You got to get Schwarzenegger in here to do that. Do it now.
Get to the chopper.
It's not a tumor.
Talking about
Thank
things
you for
that will
going
completely
kindergarten cop.
disappear. Yeah.
Now is a perfect time to introduce your kids to Kindergarten Cop, Cassandra.
This is true. That is a delightful movie.
And Gianna has told me that over the course of her nearly 15 years teaching, that at the start of it, second graders could watch a full length kids movie, and now they can't.
My kids can.
Really?
Yeah.
So anything longer than like 30 minutes is just like chaos in a classroom.
I mean, I don't know about in the classroom, there's so many distractors, but like we'll have a family movie night and like they'll draw up little movie tickets and we make it a thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. We'll pull out the beach chairs. So it's like movie theater seating.
That's great. That's fun. We did that during COVID. We set up a projector outside and had friends over and watched Jurassic Park, and it was a blast.
Our neighbors set up Home Alone. And so the girls watched it this year for the first time and they loved it.
Oh, Home Alone. Wow. That's a good one. That one holds up.
Oh, oh my gosh. Hearing like little 5-year-olds quote Kevin McAllister is hilarious.
So your kids, they watch Home Alone 1. Then did they watch Home Alone 2?
No, we didn't do the others. They just kind of wanted to keep rewatching that one ever so often.
Oh, they haven't even seen Home Alone 2?
No,
Like, wow. Do they even know it exists?
they do. We're like, do you want to see the other one? They're like, no, put on the other one.
Oh, wow. They're just, they don't want to take.
Home Alone 1 to Home Alone 2 is like RoboCop 1 to RoboCop 2. It just gets even more intense and over the top.
It does. I was thinking about that, like the idea of like a nail going through a foot in a kid's movie today. Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
My ass got sore though sitting on this bench. So
What?
on the floor.
Are you all ready?
Yeah, I think let's do it.
Here we go. Look at that.
Oh,
Oh wow.
That's terrific.
oh, I love that. Great job.
Wow.
Oh,
Nice.
That's nice.
It's awesome.
Oh man, I knew everybody was gonna do awesome with
That's
this week.
Oh,
Nice.
very well done. Awesome.
Oh, that's lovely, Sienna.
I'm moving quickly. Ray's on his way. He's for the television that he doesn't have in his house. He's watching it right now.
I know. Know me all too well.
Yeah, Ray, you kind of said that with some. I don't have a TV.
Oh wow, Pete, that's awesome.
Really
That's
nice,
great.
Peter. Yeah, I like that one a lot, Peter.
Yeah.
The looseness of it.
Oh, great job.
Yeah, that's great too. That was a tough pose, that one.
That's a very nice drawing.
Yeah.
This is a really nice drawing.
Very charming. Wow.
Wow.
Love it.
Great.
Yeah, really nice.
Oh, that piece on the right is terrific.
Yeah.
Great shapes.
that's really nice.
It's,
That's cool.
wow.
Ooh,
Yeah.
really nice.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. Looks like
that's
was really-
beautiful.
It is, yeah, so delicately done.
That's great too.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
Whoa, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
Wow.
Wow.
So
Whatever,
good.
Gary.
I have some superlatives for Gary,
Ah, so
but I'm not going to use them.
Because the transcript is on, right?
That's right.
good.
Can you believe John called?
I approve.
Wow. Oh, that's from this morning.
That's from
Really
this
good.
morning. Well, the reason Gary's so good is he draws all day. He
Jeez.
practices. Nice, DJ.
Nice.
Whoa.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's cool. It made me think of
Yeah.
a bit of Skeletor too.
I just
Oh,
keep
yeah.
thinking of, Raising Arizona. What's it?
Yeah, yeah, totally. I was thinking of that too. Oh, that's nice.
That's fun.
Right.
Love it.
There you go, Jeff.
Oh, those are awesome, Jeff.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow.
wow.
See that, right?
Beautiful.
Digital painting, right? See that?
Well, why don't you just have them on, John? You miss. I provide mostly entertainment, very little art.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody's submitted a.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, whoa.
Oh,
That's awesome.
that's so cool.
That bottom piece is so great.
Oh
too.
my gosh, I love what you did there.
I thought John was gonna be like, you see that, Bill? They're doing
Good
an
job,
entire
Sally.
comic.
Thank you.
Nice, Sally. Hey, this is out of my studio right here.
Well
Yeah.
done.
Wow.
It's the
That's
best thing out of
cool.
my studio.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Really cool.
Oh, that's great.
That's
Yeah,
gonna
that's
be
see, that's
good
got some
for
nice
life.
energy. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
That's fun.
Oh,
So good.
that's really good.
You're on a roll today.
You're doing some looser stuff tonight. I like it.
Really good.
This is well composed. I like that
Yeah.
too.
I love how delicately handled, the dwarf is, but everyone seems to pick that up.
So,
These are all great.
Nice.
So many good ones.
Hmm.
Wow.
Fun.
Fun.
Oh, I like that.
Wow.
Really cool.
Thanks,
Ooh,
That's
AJ.
right.
Dang, AJ. That's good.
oh, that's cool.
Hmm.
That's fun.
That's great.
Yes.
There we go. Oh, they tagged the
Oh, that's nice.
the actor.
Oh, I love.
Yeah, nice.
And there should be.
Oh, very nice.
So many good
Oh,
ones.
that's
tonight.
nice. Yeah, that's a nice one too.
Wow.
Wow.
A lot of these second poses. That's awesome.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
great.
That feels like that should be like a beer label.
Yeah.
Oh,
During
nice, Nicole.
draft.
Good
During
job,
draft
Nicole.
beer.
wow.
Wow.
What did you call it? Oh, Duran's draft.
Yeah, during draft.
Yeah.
It's got a ring to it.
Awesome.
Love it.
Oh, great.
That's great, Nicole. That's nice.
I like it.
Mhm.
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah. Hey.
Good job,
you man.
man.
It's kind of close to home, doesn't it?
Yeah, he was on a
Very
better roll than me because he had kids hopping on top of him.
That's fun. Nice, Jeff.
Oh, I love it.
Is that it? We're done.
That's it.
Hey, I just really
That's
quickly, I just want to share something because we've got a really young student that somebody sent this to me.
Oh,
8 years old.
Oh,
Wow.
so good.
How old?
Awesome. 8.
You see
Oh,
that, John?
come on.
Got the whole figure in there, John.
I know.
Rihanna. So
Wow.
thank you for
Also, like, look at how they rendered the axe too, that they
Yeah.
got, like, we worked on perspective. I'm very impressed.
way to
Yeah.
go, Rihanna. Thank you, everybody.
Fun
Next-
night, everybody. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Timmy. Thank you, Cassandra. Thank you, Bill. Really fun. I hope the Bills win tonight for you, Ray. And see everybody next week. We got a really fun one next week.
Yep.
Very, very special guest, really great photographer.
Bye.
Thank
See
you,
everybody.
everybody. Have a
Thanks,
wonderful
everyone.
Good
week.
work, everybody.
Go Bills. All right. Take care, everyone.